Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Today we're talking about Homebrew Wednesday, and we're talking about specific homebrew competitions that are open to all homebrewers, which we are included in that group. Mike has found...
they haven't kicked us out yet.
They haven't kicked... Not yet. We're working on it. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. SJPORR's challenge, the 2016 Homebrew Challenge, is upon us, and I know that Mike was looking into this just this week. It looks like the registration's all almost ready to be closed.
You
right?
better be getting ready if you're going to do the SJPORR Challenge.
Seriously. So, Mike, tell me more about this particular challenge.
So, had you heard of this up to this point until I started blabbing about it?
We talked about it a little bit. I mean, there's been other ones that last year I know that there was that. It was a challenge of using specific ingredients, like maybe like 1 of 6 to make different styles. I know that did not do well in that competition.
Well,
so here's another one that is started for homebrewers, judged by homebrewers,
exactly,
won by homebrewers.
Oh wow!
Right? Hey,
that's good. I hate it when non-homebrewers win.
Comes in threes.
So here's the deal: the SJPORR Challenge, it's been running for a few years. Started by this guy SJPORR, who runs a homebrew shop down in Pennsylvania called the Grain Bill down in Pennsylvania. And the thing that's interesting about this challenge is that it's touted as being the only homebrew challenge where the brewers, the guys brewing the beer, are also the guys who judge the beer. And every year has a theme.
Yep.
And the basic way it works is that you send beers in. You send your beer. Everybody can only make one beer, so you make one beer according to the theme. You send that beer into a central hub. Either in the United States, there are probably several regions, or in certain countries, it might just be one hub per country because it isn't open to international entries.
Any homebrewer on the planet Earth.
On the planet Earth. So, and at the hub, the people organized at the hub reorganize the beer and then randomize the entries, I guess, and send them back out to the brewers who submitted beers. You get beers, you taste the beers that you've received,
you judge those
and you
beers?
Judge and score them based on using an online form.
Okay.
Then all those, whether you're a BJCP judge or not, is you as a home brewer exercising your palate and your judgment based on the score sheet. And the scores go back in, they get tabulated, and then the top 3 people per region, per country, the same process goes over and over again until they get 3 winners.
Yep.
The winners of this competition actually will have their recipe and their ugly mug and their name plastered on, packaged into a Brew Craft homebrew kit, which are sold at homebrew shops all over the place. I've seen them everywhere. People like Denny Kahn, Drew Beecham, these guys have Brew Craft kits that they've submitted recipes to as part of their relationship with just the larger homebrew community. Brew Craft probably asked them to do something.
Okay.
So you could become the face of a Brew Craft box.
This really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So this year's theme is session beers.
Huh.
The tagline being "Brew a sessionable beer for a thirsty world." And I'm thirsty most of the time, so I get it. I feel this challenge.
Interesting.
So some interesting things.
Okay, can I ask you a few questions? Yeah. All right, let me ask you a question. So you said that the people who submit beers into this competition also judge beers. Do they judge their own beers?
You can't judge your own beer, so that's part of the hub's organizer's responsibilities to make sure your beer doesn't come back.
Okay, that's cool. Now, since homebrewers are some of the best people in the world, people will be honorable and will judge beers appropriately.
Well, I'm sure that appropriately meaning having some sense of what they're doing, or you mean I know that this beer is from my buddy Pete out in Pittsburgh.
That's another way of looking at it.
The labels are going to be kind of blind to you. I mean, you can create label art, you can put a description label, but it's not going to say, this is Mike's beer from Boston.
So I got to help Mike win this competition.
No,
well, I mean, what if you said all of these are garbage to help your own beer?
Well, then I would hope that there's enough people in the whole process that statistically,
but that's
maybe it's like figure skating. They're going to dump the high and the low score.
Got it. So, but that's
The Russian judge
home brewers
didn't like my porter.
Home brewing people are the best kind of people. Believe us.
Brewers
when we
code.
say that.
Brewers
Absolutely.
code.
Look, we put beers out there in the world. We get home-brewed beers back, okay? And they've all been great.
Yeah.
Because home brewers are the best people in the whole world. Don't let anyone tell you differently. All right? All right, that's good. Interesting. So you have entries being judged by the same people who entered a beer.
Yes.
And then what happens? Like, the scores are tabulated, and then is there some kind of like secondary round or something?
Yeah, so the top 3 beers from each region then advance to compete with the top 3 beers from other regions in a collapsing bracket type of process.
All right, cool. And then you win, and you get your face on a box, and you're all over the country, and you're famous.
And
that's pretty cool. All right, so question: when do people need to get their beers?
Time is ticking. You should stop watching this video.
Time is always ticking.
You stop watching this video.
Pause it. Don't stop. Pause.
Okay, pause. Go up to the. But now, if I pause and then I give the instructions, they're not going to know what to do.
Okay. Well, say like, give the instructions and then pause.
What you need to do is you need to go to sjpor.org. Wait, sorry. SJPORR. What is this website address?
It's a subdomain.
It is a subdomain.
It's SJPORR.
If you go to sjporchallenge.org,
yes,
you'll get to the website.
Okay.
And
why don't you put the link below in the description?
Oh, that's a good idea. YouTube. So in the United States, and actually all other regions, Canada, Europe, UK, New Zealand, Australia, your beer's got to be received at your designated hub, which you'll find that information on the website.
Yeah.
Between September 8th and the 12th. Time is ticking, my friend.
Yeah.
Beer's going to be sent back to you by the 19th or 26th, depending on where you are. And then the voting closes on October 16th. So it's a long process, but the process is starting now. In fact, the process has already started.
I know, we're kind of late to the game, but it's all right.
So the good thing is,
Not late for
I know
dinner.
you want to ask this question, but I do have a beer back there that I'm going to try to send in and participate in this community of challengers.
So session level
beer. Yes.
What is the definition of a session level beer for this competition?
Well,
did we talk about that already?
We did not talk about that. So you can brew any style of beer as long as the ABV is only up to 4.5% ABV. Now let's be honest. When you're making measurements of your beer with your hydrometer, you know, you might calculate and go, oh, my beer is 4.7%. I can't enter. Nobody's actually going to be shooting your beer into a gas chromatograph and figuring it out. So SJPORR might want to leave a comment and say, Mike, don't say that. But the reality is 4.5, 4.6, 4.2. The error in your calibration of your instruments is probably close enough. You got to be honest. You know what? Brewer's code. Okay? Don't send in a 6%.
Brewers are the best kind of people.
Don't send in a 6% beer. Don't you know?
They won't.
Unless you just want to reward people with a 12% Russian Imperial Stout and just be like, hey, I'm just a happy guy.
Tastes good.
So 4.5%. That's what this competition defines as a session beer.
Sounds good. Great. I can do that.
Yes.
Not sure if I'm going to be able to hit that date, but I can brew a sessionable beer.
A sessionable beer. That's right.
That's right. Cool. Anything else we want to talk about this?
I'll just mention that
some sponsors.
These guys have set up some cool sponsors. I mean, of the likes of Beersmith and the Brew Tubers from YouTube, Omega Yeast Company, the Grain Bill, which is where SJPORR is from. There's several different sponsors all supporting this global international competition.
Interesting. Okay. Goody goody.
So I just thought that sounds like cool. We haven't talked about this kind of competition before. So it's out there. Go to sjporchallenge.org and check it out. And if you've got a beer that's ready to go, it's time to put it in. Send it in. Yeah,
registration is open until the end of August. So that's the other thing, too. You got to register by the 27th of August.
Yes.
And looking
you know, a session beer, there's still time to brew a session beer.
Hopefully. Well,
you could still brew a session beer.
Really?
Yeah. If you
to register.
I would suggest just go to the store, get yourselves 50% wheat, 50% two-row, 2 packages of Belgian wheat yeast. Boom, you push that baby out in like 10 days, let it finish in the bottle, send it out, man. You can do it. You do it.
You just gave away the whole plan.
That's not the beer I'm sending in. All right, so I haven't fully opened the kimono.
I don't want you ever to open up
to
the
borrow a
kimono.
phrase, and you know, all
Yes.
right, I'm not stealing phrases.
Right. You're not stealing them. You just borrow them.
I'm just borrowing them. I'll give it
for
back.
effect.
I'll give it back
That
after
was
this
gross.
video.
Thanks for that.
But now you could pause the video and go to SJPORR.
Please pause it now. Okay, well that's kind of cool. All right, so this is the
check it out.
SJPORR
Challenge.
Check it out.
And check out the other brew tubers on YouTube.
Like us?
Like us.
They've already checked this out.
I don't know if we're really officially part of that group.
No,
we just
I
sort of
know.
happen to release our videos on Wednesdays.
We just happened to
I
do
always
that.
sort of tag them in our videos.
I know.
But they're a bunch of nice people. I follow a lot of guys from that group.
Yeah.
So there's some great content out there. I've learned a lot. I can only hope that we're making some sort of dent in the educational ethos that is YouTube brew.
Let's just put it this way.
homebrewing.
We put that that video out of how to brew a 1 gallon batch like a brew dude. Some person commented and saying, "Thank you, I've bookmarked this video. I'm going to follow it to brew my first batch." I thought that
I'm
was
gonna do that.
that might
I'm
be
gonna
the
do that.
apex of our YouTube career.
That's right. Well, we're shutting it down after this video. Thanks for watching.
I'm out.
We're out of here.
All right, for John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Competition on. Get your brews on, bro.
SJPORR 17, all that stuff.
Brew on.
Cheers.